Good morning. It's Christy Shell with Coffee with Christy. This morning we are talking about the Drama Mama Cure. Part one. We have two parts to this one. So this week and next week. Before we get started, I want to tell you about an event we have for parents and kids called The 6 Surprising Reasons Your Student Might Be Struggling to Find Their Career. So that is August 4th, and if you're interested, please go over to our events on this page or go right to the website at zealcoach.com and register. So that's a free webinar. So share with your friends or share with parents that you think might have students who might be in that situation where they're kind of really struggling to figure out where to put their energy and find their purpose. So that is something. That was just a little commercial to start our Drama Mama morning. Good morning. I'm so happy everyone's here. So this morning, the Drama Mama Cure. Good morning, Mason. He is so consistent. I so appreciate that about you, sir. Good morning. So when you think about the Drama Mama, if you don't remember, last week we talked about why it's really important to be aware when you're bringing too much drama into a situation and how that really dissolves your trust and credibility with people. And sometimes we're creating what we don't want in a relationship or a situation, especially at work or in relationships or friendships or whatever, that kind of thing. Remember, I'm just giving you a quick reminder, there were several reasons, or seven cues that you might be. So do you go to negative minded? Are you a warrior? Do you go to defense very, very quickly? Do you become self-righteous or judgmental? Are you gossiping and talking with ill intent about somebody else or some situation? Are you blaming others or complaining? Those kind of things kind of often where, it's a habit that can happen. Are you bored, right? Are you completely bored? So you're kind of creating drama and, to kind of create more excitement in your life. And the last one is, do you exaggerate or fib to kind of make yourself look better or to make a situation seem more bigger than it was? So those are just signs that you might be a drama mama and that those could be dissolving your credibility. But I have some cures. So the one we want to talk about today is kind of when we go to that negative minded. So the idea of being offended, like offended by something someone says to you or an opinion, or offended by or shocked by someone's actions or behaviors or whatever, and getting really kind of self-righteous in that. That's my introverts and my perfectionists do that often. And so to think about, are you being offended? How are you being offended? And here is the groundbreaking thing. I mentioned it or teased it a little bit last week, is that being offended is a choice, okay? Now, we don't think it is, but we are, because here's the thing. We have a choice about our behavior in any situation. We have a choice about maybe not how we think or feel, but our actual physical reaction, okay? We have a choice, okay? So what is interesting is that I love this is because think about when somebody says something and you're then offended by that. That comment is not generally, even if it's directed at you, that comment says something about that person. That is about that person and their perspective. And how you react is about you, okay? So their comment is separate from how you react. So you have a choice whether to be offended. You have a choice about how to react in that situation. So here's what happens, okay? So when you think about that, I want to give you some steps about how to go from hearing, absorbing, and reacting in a way that is more effective, okay? That's the key today. So first, notice that it's happening and that you are offended. Now, you won't be offended or feel the sting if it's not true. If there's not some element of your own your own insecurity in that comment. So if somebody said, hey, Christy, your purple hair is ugly. I don't have purple hair. I would not even react to that, right? I'd be like, you're so funny. Don't be a jerk, right? Or whatever. But what happens is that we have an insecurity about something, we then get offended. And this idea of staying grounded and being like, is that really true? I don't, that type of thing helps us stay grounded. So the first is to notice the sting, okay? So when something happens and you have a little sting and you go to kind of defense or fear or scaredness, that is true. The second step is to then stop, okay? Because you are now offended and things are going to come out of your mouth, or you're going to, if you're introverted, you're going to internalize this thing. And you have to notice and go stop, right? You have to stop yourself. Okay, that thought's coming, I feel offended, I'm going to say something in return. So our warriors or our defense people will, how dare you, and blah, 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 and come right back at people sometimes. And our introverts will kind of internalize and feel the sting and take it really deep. And so really to notice, to stop that thought, stop the thought, okay? And to stop your mouth, okay? Because what happens is when we go to that defense, and we're trying to teach people so much, we've gone to this other side of the pendulum to say, I deserve to use my voice. I need to stand up for myself. And what happens is it comes off really crazy and not very calculated and strategic and building, okay? So we have to take a moment and stop, hold our voice, and really let that first round of thoughts pass through you. So what you think about after the stop comment is really critical. So the question, you've heard me say this before, is it true? Am I thinking about it? But the idea is we have to self-manage ourselves, okay? Some people are really good at this, okay? But some people have tried to go into the other direction, like I said. They're just like, I'm supposed to stand up for myself, and I don't use my voice and things like that. But I want that first thought to kind of let it pass and let it kind of sit with you. Don't say or react yet, okay? Then I want you to think about sprinkling in that empathy, springing in that, what is this person's intention in this comment? Now, your mom is going to say something to you and she offends you because she feels like she can be direct and all those kind of things with you. For example, I'm just using an example, your brother or your sister, and their intention is either they're in fear, which is about them, right? They're usually in fear either for you, or they would react they feel like they have to tell you. So they think they're doing it out of a loving place and they're not filtering. So again, that is about them, okay? So notice when that's about them. What is their intention? Now use empathy, okay? Now use empathy. The empathy is, what is that saying about them? And how to have empathy and care for yourself. What does that say about me? If I'm triggered, we talked about this a bit last week, but if I'm triggered, there's a tell there. There's something that's wounded. There's something that is insecure, and I need to kind of give it a little love and a little healing and a little attention to understand why you feel triggered. Is it true? Do I need to work on that? Whatever. But the whole idea is to go very gentle and kind, okay? So when you stop, can you go to kindness? Can you go to empathy? Is that person speaking to you out of their pain or their fear, and their intention is not to hurt you? Now, even if their intention is to hurt you, they are speaking usually from pain. So how do you understand that pain and you bring empathy? And then you return your comment in that way. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that, what I'm doing upsets you. Maybe that's true, but I really don't appreciate when you give me that type of feedback. Now that is in such a different space than, holy crap, I can't believe you said that, or you're a bitch, like whatever, excuse my mouth, but that's what we start to do, is we start to react and go to fight, okay? So how do we go to kindness? How do we go to empathy? How do we seek to understand ourselves and the other person, okay? Ourselves and the other person, and realize that we only go to defense when we feel like there's an insecurity about ourselves. How do we take it away, think it through, and then decide, okay? So it's really interesting. This gets us out of drama. This gets us out of, to ground, bring kindness, bring empathy, question intention. How that person, what that person says to you is about them. How you react is about you. What type of person do you want to be in the world? What type of person do you want to bring to a situation? Do you want to bring the drama and the offense and defense, or do you want to be grounded and kind of in a rational mind and making decisions from a rational place? Now, we know that sometimes we have to work through that emotion and that hurt. We're triggered. We talked about that. We're triggered. And we've done other aspects of that. Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about being triggered. But this is just kind of like, can I just relax? Can I be in empathy? Can I be in kindness? And then can I set a boundary? Sometimes we do need to set a boundary. And we can talk more about boundaries another day. But then do I set a boundary? Okay? If we find we're getting offended, we probably need to work on our own self-worth and understand why we're being triggered. And then the drama dissipates and we come to it from this rational mind. All right? So that is my Drama Momma Cure Part 1. Next week we'll be doing Drama Cure Part 2, which is going to be more about when we exaggerate and we have to be seen and bigger. So come back for that one. And remember that we have this free webinar coming up on August 4th for parents called 6 Surprising Reasons Your Son or Daughter Might Be Struggling with Finding Their Career. I would love for you to invite others and to come along, but please register on our website or on our events page here. Hope you're well. Enjoy the weekend. It looks like an amazing one here in Ohio. And I'm excited to talk to you next week. This is Christy Shell with Zeal Coaching, and you were on Coffee with Christy. Thanks.